Most people completely misunderstand what it actually takes to register a company in St. Kitts and Nevis, and because of that misunderstanding, they either dismiss it as just another small Caribbean jurisdiction with limited relevance, or they assume it is a quick offshore shortcut that can be set up in a single afternoon with no structure, no compliance, and no real obligations. But the reality is very different. And that is exactly what happened to Sarah, a 36-year-old online business owner from Miami, who ran a digital consulting agency serving clients across North America and Europe. At first, St. Kitts and Nevis was not even on her radar. She was exploring Delaware, Wyoming, and Estonia for business structuring. But one conversation changed everything. A fellow entrepreneur told her something unexpected. If you understand how to properly structure an offshore company in St. Kitts and Nevis, you can build a legally recognized international business entity with strong privacy protections and simplified corporate administration compared to many traditional jurisdictions. Sarah was skeptical. Because from the outside, St. Kitts and Nevis looks like a small Caribbean nation known mostly for tourism, beaches, and citizenship by investment programs. But what she didn't realize is something important. St. Kitts and Nevis has one of the most established offshore corporate frameworks in the Caribbean, offering international business companies, often referred to as IBCs, which function similarly to LLC-style entities for international business operations. And that is where the real journey begins. Because Sarah assumed registering a company would be a simple online form, a quick payment, and immediate approval. But what she discovered instead was a structured legal process involving licensed registered agents, due diligence verification, company name approval, incorporation filing, and compliance documentation that must all be completed in a specific order. And here's where things get interesting. Because in St. Kitts and Nevis, the system is not designed to confuse entrepreneurs. It is designed to streamline offshore company formation through regulated intermediaries while ensuring compliance with international financial standards. But only if you understand the structure. Before we go deeper, you need to understand something critical. A St. Kitts and Nevis LLC equivalent is typically formed as an international business company, or IBC. This structure allows foreign investors to operate internationally, hold assets, manage consulting services, and conduct cross-border business activities under a legally recognized corporate entity. However, unlike some onshore jurisdictions, incorporation must be completed through a licensed registered agent within St. Kitts and Nevis, and compliance checks are required as part of international anti-money laundering regulations. Now let's go back to Sarah's journey. She arrives at her decision after weeks of research and connects with a registered agent named Daniel, who specializes in offshore company formation for international entrepreneurs. And the first thing Daniel tells her immediately reshapes her expectations. He says, in St. Kitts and Nevis, company formation is not self-service. It is agent-based. If you follow the correct structure, it becomes very efficient. Nay. Sarah nods, but she doesn't fully understand what that means yet. Because the first step is not filing paperwork. It is due diligence and compliance verification. And this is where most people are surprised. Before you can even register your company, you must provide identification documents, proof of address, and background verification through your registered agent. This is not optional. It is part of international compliance standards that offshore jurisdictions must follow. So Sarah submits her documents: passport, utility bill, and business background information. And here's where Michael, another entrepreneur from California, made a mistake earlier. He assumed offshore meant anonymous and unrestricted. But in reality, modern offshore company formation is highly regulated, even in jurisdictions known for flexibility. And that misunderstanding can lead to delays if expectations are incorrect. Once Sarah passes initial compliance, Daniel moves her to the next step: company name reservation. And this is where things begin to feel more structured. Because in St. Kitts and Nevis, company names must be unique, compliant, and approved by the company registry. Sarah submits 3 potential names. One is rejected due to similarity with an existing entity. Another is flagged for modification. The third is approved with slight adjustments. And Daniel explains something important. In offshore jurisdictions, naming is not marketing first. It is regulatory clearance first. That means your company identity must pass legal screening before it becomes operational. And once the name is approved, incorporation documents are prepared. This is where structure becomes important. Because now you must define shareholding structure, registered office address, director details, and company objectives. And this is where David, another entrepreneur from London, encountered delays when he attempted to use a generic template from a different jurisdiction. His application was rejected because St. Kitts and Nevis requires specific incorporation documentation processed through authorized agents. And this is where frustration often begins. Because what seems simple becomes highly procedural. But here's the insight Daniel gives Sarah that changes everything. He says, offshore does not mean informal. It means specialized structure with simplified taxation and administration. And that becomes the turning point. Because once Sarah understands structure, everything becomes clearer. So she begins preparing carefully. She defines her shareholder structure, confirms her business activity as international consulting services, and ensures all documentation aligns with compliance requirements. And that preparation makes a difference. Because when Daniel submits her incorporation application to the registry, the process moves smoothly. But here's where things become more layered. Because incorporation in St. Kitts and Nevis is not the end of the process. It is the beginning of operational compliance. Once approved, Sarah receives her certificate of incorporation. And that moment feels like completion. But Daniel immediately clarifies something important. You are incorporated, but you are not yet fully operational from a banking and tax perspective. Because next comes banking setup. And this is where many entrepreneurs encounter unexpected complexity. Offshore banking requires due diligence, business explanation, expected transaction volume, and compliance verification. Banks must ensure the company is not used for illicit activity and must comply with international financial regulations. This is where Emily, another entrepreneur from Texas, faced delays. Her incorporation was successful. But her banking application stalled because her business description was too vague. And this is where most people make a critical mistake. They assume incorporation equals financial access. But, in reality, banking is a separate verification system. So Sarah prepares carefully. She defines her consulting business model, provides client contract examples, and clarifies expected revenue streams. And because of that clarity, her banking process moves forward more smoothly. But here's where things shift again. Because in St. Kitts and Nevis, taxation is another major advantage that attracts entrepreneurs. The jurisdiction is known for offering no direct corporate income tax on offshore income for properly structured IBCs, which is one of the reasons it is widely used for international business structuring. But that does not mean zero compliance. Companies must still maintain annual filings, registered agent relationships, and renewal requirements to remain in good standing. And this is where Daniel explains another key point. Offshore structure is not about avoiding responsibility. It is about optimizing jurisdictional efficiency. And that distinction is critical. Because misunderstanding this leads to incorrect expectations. Sarah begins to see the full picture. She is not building a shortcut. She is building a structured international entity designed for cross-border business efficiency. And that realization changes her approach completely. But here's a curiosity loop most people never consider. Because St. Kitts and Nevis has become one of the most recognized offshore jurisdictions due to its combination of privacy protections, corporate flexibility, and international credibility when properly structured through licensed agents. But only if compliance is maintained correctly. Because failure to meet annual requirements can lead to penalties or company dissolution. So let's bring everything together clearly. First, you engage a licensed registered agent. Second, you complete compliance and due diligence verification. Third, you reserve and approve your company name. Fourth, you prepare incorporation documents including shareholder and director structure. Fifth, you submit incorporation through the official registry and receive your certificate. Sixth, you open a corporate bank account with proper documentation. And finally, you maintain annual compliance and renewal obligations. Each step builds on the previous one. And skipping or misunderstanding even one step can create delays or compliance risks. But when done correctly, the system becomes one of the most efficient offshore corporate structures available today. And here's the final insight that ties everything together. Most people think offshore company formation is about secrecy or shortcuts. But in reality, it is about structured internationalization. Once you understand the sequence, you gain control over how your business operates globally. And once you gain control, international entrepreneurship stops feeling complicated and starts becoming strategic. Sarah, Michael, David, and Emily all started with confusion. But the ones who succeeded were those who followed the structure, respected compliance, and understood that offshore does not mean unregulated. It means differently regulated. And that is the real takeaway. St. Kitts and Nevis is not a loophole. It is a structured offshore jurisdiction designed for international business efficiency when used correctly. So if you are considering forming an LLC equivalent in St. Kitts and Nevis, the real question is not whether it is possible. It is whether you are prepared to follow the compliance-driven structure required to maintain it properly. Because once you do, you will understand something powerful. Global business is not about avoiding systems. It is about choosing the right system and mastering it. And when you understand that, you can build across borders with confidence most people never develop. And if you found this guide helpful and want more deep breakdowns of international company formation and global business strategy, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because the next guide might completely change how you see offshore opportunity.